Get out of here! There we go, baby!
Some legends are told, some turn to dust or to gold, but you will remember me for centuries. Just one mistake is all it will take. We'll go down in history. Remember me for centuries.
Welcome back for another edition of Jersey Baseball Show. Today, we are joined by Mr. Drip, one of the top hitters in New Jersey, pride of the Shore Conference, Middletown South, Delesio, recent commit to UAB, and we'll talk about that, finally getting the commitment off the plate. But one of the more exciting players in New Jersey, and certainly somebody we've enjoyed watching through the years. So welcome back to school, senior year, and thanks for stopping by, Lou.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, we've been waiting for a while to do this, so let's get it started. Over the summer, big summer for you, getting to do a lot of things with Ghost, and going to some big tournaments. Ending up with you finally getting your decision set to go to UAB and play D1 ball for the Blazers. Tell us about that, because it's a great program. Not a lot of people know that up here, and when you're thinking of schools down there, most people think of the SEC. But how did UAB come into play here, and tell us why you're pumped for
it? All right. Well, first, we PRD does this tournament in March, where we go out right before the high school season and just get some reps in. And at that time, I went over and checked out UAB, and I liked it from the start. That's before I was even talking to them or they were even on the table. I went over because I was already in Alabama. It was like a 25, 30-minute drive from where I was staying. And I went over, loved the campus, and then nothing really came from it. I just went by myself, checked out the field. And then this summer, we played down in Hoover, and we played at the Hoover Met Complex with all the schools there. And they were one of them. And the first game, I did pretty well. I went 3 for 4, scored from second on a ground ball to the shortstop. That caught their eye. And then they started coming to all our games. I noticed they were at every single one. So they came to all our games in Alabama. And then they asked me while we were in the middle of the tournament, and I was already in Alabama, if I'd like to come check out the facilities with one of their coaches. And automatically, it was a definite yes, because I already went and saw it the first time. So I went and saw it. They showed me around. I loved it right away. Wasn't too big of a school, which I was looking for, but it's not that small either. It's like right outside the city of Birmingham. It's still like a good 2-3 blocks of just pure campus. And then nothing really came from that visit, and I was a little bummed about it. But then they followed us down to Georgia for the WWBA and came to the first 4 or 5 games there. So they came to 9 games straight just watching me play. And then as soon as I got home that week, they called me and offered me. Thank you to Coach Moss and everyone over there for believing in me.
How did it feel? Because, you've had a lot of success through the years, certainly, big bat, kind of explosive, hitter, generating a ton of bat speed and pop for your size. Done well on the national stage, but it took a while. So, how did it feel to get it off the plate headed into your senior year?
There you go!
Also, what do you say to guys in 9th, 10th grade that, 11th grade that haven't committed, maybe haven't been seen as much as they'd like, starting to get stressed a little bit, having gone through it yourself? What would you say to them to kind of keep them motivated?
Well, last summer, I was really worried about it. All I was thinking about is, when do I get to commit? When do I get to commit? Everyone was coming off the board, all my friends, and it was getting a little nervous. And for me, it got really late. and I was starting to worry about it. Like, am I going to go JUCO? What's the route I'm going to take? But you just got to stay the path. Like, if you don't think about it, you'll play better, and everything's going to happen for a reason. Last summer, I was stressed about the whole recruiting process, the whole summer. I didn't have a great summer. This summer, I just played relaxed, didn't care about it. I said, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And obviously, it all worked out.
Couple of your best friends that you played with forever, Ryan Costello, Harrison Lawlin. Interesting summers for them too, where they had their initial choices. They kind of rethought it a little bit. There was a point where they were both still looking, but tell us about both of them. They're Ryan going to LSU now, and just watching him through the years just develop, and Harrison, obviously. I mean, you've gotten to play behind him for so long. What's it like playing in the field with a guy like that on the mound?
It's always good when Harry's on the mound. We have the best chance to win ever when he's on the mound, including Lavonis, him too. Both of them on the mound, I'm feeling great every time. And it's also good because I could just hang out in the outfield, talk to Kaz in the left, just have a good time because he's striking everyone out. And with Kaz, I actually have never seen him hit a ball further. It was foul. It was a foul ball at Surf Stadium, but I've never seen anyone hit a ball further in my life.
What's the furthest? I mean, how far can he hit one? 450?
450. I'm thinking this one went like 500. Dude, we were using metal bats at Surf Stadium up in Atlantic or down in Atlantic City, and it was a fastball in, and he just dropped the barrel, and it went like over the straight out of the stadium. It was ridiculous. Obviously, Kaz is my throwing partner. We warm up, stretch together, so we're always doing stuff together. Me and Kaz hitting the winter, so seeing him accomplish and do all these things is great. I'm so happy for him.
We mentioned those two. We mentioned Chris Lavonis. You've gotten to play with a lot of great guys through PRD, whether East Coast Ghost, whatever variation of teams. How's that experience helped you grow as a player?
When I'm around all these high, big D1 players, all it does is motivate me to become one of them. They're obviously all going, Kaz going to SEC, Harry's going to Penn State, Lavonis, Wake Forest, obviously all going crazy. Most everyone's committed on our team, and I was one of the last people. So, just like being around them just made me a better player. We always had competitions, talking crap about each other, like, "Hey, I'm better than you. I'm better than you." Always making bets on each other. Just having a good time on and off the field. It makes it a lot easier when off the field you're having a good time too. Takes the stress factor out of it.
And you played with another one, not necessarily through there so much as even during the high school season, Ben Schild up at UConn. You got to be part of a state title team as a freshman, not the role that you've had the last couple of years, obviously, but you got to experience it. How has that helped motivate you and kind of shape you and you get ready to you had it people thought you had a team good enough the last couple of years, certainly as a sophomore. One more year to go, and going through that as a freshman, what does that kind of make you want to do this year as a senior?
I mean, it was great coming into the school. I wasn't really sure how it was gonna be. I got coached my 8th grade year, so I didn't play school baseball in a whole year. And our middle school coach didn't normally play 7th graders, so I had never really played school before. And then I called up at the end of the year, and to go on that state run, everyone was at the games, everything was packed, all the news reporters, Sports Zone, everyone was there. It was crazy, dog piling, and I mean, I think that's the only way to go out with a bang. So obviously, we're gonna have to do that. We got Brevin Mace on the bump, Derek Commander, Jacob Wendell. So we got the arms and kids to do it. Gotta make it all happen.
Last year was a down year for Middletown South. Um, you've had to see Middletown North make big runs the last couple of years, which has got to hurt a little bit. But what does it mean to be a team leader this year? your last year?
Obviously, obviously it feels great for coach to say that stuff to three of the guys. Glad that I'm one of them. But I feel like it all starts at practice. We gotta get out there, start grinding. We can't as make any errors as we did last year. We gave teams so many runs, all over the board with walks and errors, and we didn't really hit last year. Maybe it's because we had a new coach. We were a little uncomfortable, scared to make mistakes. But second year, this is when we got to kick it into gear and get Mid South back on the map.
Yeah, that's it's never been a problem for you. It's not always the biggest guy, but always been able to hit the ball a long way. Who had a big impact on your kind of career growing up?
Definitely my dad. We put a batting cage in my backyard when I was about 7 or 8, and has an iron mic, 500 baseballs. Just go out there, click in, and it'll throw to me for hours. So I went out there every day before school, after school when I was younger, and just hit for upon hours, seeing what worked, what didn't, moving my hand, seeing how the ball was coming off the bat, whether I was doing leg kick, toe tap, moving my hands back, up, down, just testing everything out. And I finally found out the solution was I got to go leg kick, got to keep my hands back and just go straight to the ball. And the ball comes off way harder and it goes way further that way.
Goals for the off season, right? We were able to you're able to notch commitment off the list, so it's really just focus on getting yourself ready for this year and getting yourself ready for D1 ball in college. What are your biggest goals going into the off season?
Well, first I got to put on some weight. Right now I'm only about 145, 150, so I definitely got to put on a little muscle. So I got to be hitting the gym, and then I got to work on everything. I got to work on my speed, get faster. Um, Obviously got to hit all the time, every day, just like always. And Mark Magliero, Coach Mags at PRD, he's gonna have an arm for me to get my arm stronger and make sure I don't get hurt down the road.
Yeah, it's obviously tough. You want to make sure you're in best position to succeed. You've grown to have a little bit of a style on the field. The drip king. Um, how'd that come about? Tell us, what your keys are to looking good. And obviously, I mean, a lot of it is, you look good, you play good, but um, what's important? What do you focus on when you're getting all dripped out for games? What do we have to have?
All right, so back in 12U, I made a custom CFSN, which was blue and neon pink, because neon pink's always my favorite color. And then when we had to go up to the bigger field, I like the meta the best. I like even weighted bats. I'm not a big fan of end loaded, so I customized the meta like that too. So I've always been a big fan of the pink and the blue. So one time I was at my cousin's communion party, and I was just customizing some Evo shields, and then I wound up buying them. So I made them light pink and light blue, arm guard and leg guard, because those have just been my two favorite colors. And then on the field when I'm not batting, when I'm in the field, I got the tight pants with the straps rolled up a couple to make it really tight. And then in my back pockets, I got the batting gloves in my right, and then the matching light blue sliding mitt in the left. And then on my left arm, I got an arm sleeve, depends on the color of the day. And then I got wrist tape on the right. The wrist tape's always either white or black. And then no matter what, I always got glasses on the back of my hat, whether it's night games, it's raining out, not sunny. They're always on the back of my hat. Then I always got a couple chains on, make sure they're always out. And then eye black, either cross or smeared, depending on the day and how I have the how much I have left. I'm pretty stacked on it right now.
I was going to say that how long does this take, and how much is it just kind of like you going with it, or are you actually thinking this out ahead of time?
Well, I didn't really think it out until it's like everyone knows, like, oh, what's Lewis gonna wear today? Like, what's he gonna do? So now it's like kind of just like a guessing game. So used to in the short conference or all New Jersey, now I wear chains, now I wear eye black, be one line. Finally, they changed the rules, so let us have a little fun.
Favorite part of your thing there? Your favorite part of what what's the most important part of what your drip looks like?
Probably the pants. They have to be. If you're wearing like baggy pants or like something that doesn't look good, that just throws the whole outfit off. You gotta have something tight, or even if it's not tight pants, long ways, you gotta have them like up to your knees, maybe a little over your knees with long socks. You gotta have tight stuff.
The pink though, that's always been a thing, right? Always that's always been your go-to.
Pink's always been a thing. Yeah, pink's been my favorite color. I got a lot of light blue and pink stuff in my house, and then I was like, I mean, I'm from wearing this off the field. I mean, why not put it into the game? So last summer, my coach Pat Gironi was getting a little mad. He was like, "Colleges aren't gonna like this. Like, you're making a fool out of yourself." So I went to white for a tournament. I had my white guard still, so I went back to all white for a tournament, and I was like, "Nah, this isn't for me." So then this summer I went back to it.
You watch anybody in the you get where do you get the ideas from? I mean, you're watching guys in the majors. Is there anybody you think that does it right, or is it just kind of in your head?
I mean, obviously Acuna. I'm always in Atlanta for tournaments, WWBA, go to a bunch of Brave games, and he's always got the little accent of yellow in the Braves jersey and the across. And he's always incorporating something. The game I went to, he had like a teal arm sleeve with Jordans on. Jazz Chisholm's always good. He's got that deal with Absolutely Ridiculous with the ice cream gloves. So they're coming out with crazy stuff all the time. All these new sliding mitts. They just came out with a banana one. Haven't been able to get any of the drops, but soon probably.
You got the style, but there's a lot more to that to your game. Obviously, anybody who watches you can see that. How do you want other coaches, other teams, other players to see you at? I mean, how do you want to be remembered as, or how do you want them to kind of view you as?
I'm not good. Throw me fastballs. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I don't know. I just think that I like the game. I want to play the game hard. I'm always hustling all over the place, and I don't want to never be talking down on me, say that kid doesn't know how to play the game. He doesn't respect the game the right way, because that's not what I was trying to do. Just trying to spice up, add a little fun, and just get my teammates going. Like they see that too. Sometimes they're like, "All right, it gets enough," and then sometimes they're like, "All right, like you got it going. Like we got to get going too. We all got to roll at the same time."
Random questions for you here. Favorite team outside of any team you're involved with? Favorite pro team? I think we don't have to look too far. We just probably have to pan down a little bit to see what your favorite pro team is and see what shirt you're wearing, right?
Well, I got the 49ers for football. I don't know. My dad's always been a 49er fan, so I kind of just grew up into it. And then for baseball, not a best Yankees as always. And then I don't watch basketball and hockey too much, but for sure baseball and football are the 49ers and the Yankees.
If it wasn't baseball as your number one sport, what would be?
Probably football. The other day we were with our friends and I was just casually throwing the football like 55, 60 yards.
Really?
So I don't know.
So quarterback, maybe
Yeah.
defensive back or something too, if that was necessary.
Nah, probably not quarterback. I wouldn't be able to see over those linemen. I'd probably just play like little wide receiver, little not even in the slot, little over the underneath routes, maybe run the streak a little bit. I don't know. I'm not trying to go over the middle and get killed though. Yeah, maybe a couple out routes,
Yeah.
toe tap on the sideline and just get out of there.
Um, Three favorite pro athletes.
Ronald Acuna Jr. Probably Brock Purdy because he's young. It's going to lead the 49ers to a big year this year. And I like Christian McCaffrey. He's also a dog. There was a game last year against the Rams. He threw a touchdown, caught a touchdown, and rushed a touchdown.
Yeah. Favorite memory of Middletown South high school baseball?
Probably my sophomore year after Mercy Wall in the final in the MCT, and we were all dogpiling out there. That was probably fun. Obviously, winning's better than anything. Maybe that Joe Stans breaking the short conference home run record. That was pretty cool. I don't know. There's a couple of good moments, but definitely the dog pile. Everyone, all the media everywhere. Feeling good to have the winnings under our belt.
You mentioned RBC, obviously one of your best friends, Dylan Passo, a little bit younger than you, but just a year behind going to Notre Dame. Pretty fun watching him kind of blow up and achieve big things too.
Yeah, I've been best friends with Dylan my whole life. Since 4, we were on Little League teams. Then we went to the Red Hawks. Then we went to the Richmond Braves. Then we went to TBT. And then we just ended up splitting up at like 13, 14. But obviously, he was at my house yesterday. We're boys. Obviously, anything I could do to help him, always. He's coming over my cage all the time. He's done everything. We've been best friends ever since. Go to the beach together. It's just crazy to see what he's been doing. He's huge now too.
Yeah, really. He's gonna big year for him. Expect that, right?
Big year for him. I
Yeah,
just want to play him UAB versus Notre Dame. Get a picture after all that from when we were 4, just to in college, both at pretty big schools. I think that'd be
definitely,
really cool.
definitely, definitely. Lou, thank you for doing this finally. Like I said, it's been a lot of fun watching you. Watching you hit is always electric. Watching you get after it, and for conference. So we got to go out on top, right?
Gotta. There's no other way. We gotta put South back on the map down years.
That's right. That's right. Louis Delesio, our guest, headed to UAB next year. But before that, we got some unfinished business at Middletown South. So we appreciate you dropping by and look forward to catching you out at the field.